Live from New Delhi, you're watching DD India Live, India's voice to the world. I'm Preeti Kaur. Coming up in the next 30 minutes. The 7th and the last phase of polling begins with 57 constituencies from 8 states and union territories, including Himachal Pradesh and Punjab, voting today. US President Joe Biden unveils new Gaza truce proposal, says it's time for this war to end. Hamas responds positively. Former US President Trump calls hush money trial a scam, vows to appeal historic guilty verdict, while Biden says the verdict shows no one is above the law. South Africa heading for coalition as ruling African National Congress vote share fall, set to lose majority for the first time in 30 years of democracy. No respite from scorching heat in sight as India reels under intense heat wave. Heat stroke kills 54 in parts of the country. Wildfire intensifies. All right, let's get you the latest on the world's largest election in India. Polling has begun for the 7th and the final phase of India's parliamentary elections. Voters across 57 constituencies in 8 states and union territories are eligible to exercise their franchise. Voting is taking place on all the 13 seats of Punjab, 4 of Himachal Pradesh, 13 constituencies of Uttar Pradesh, 9 in West Bengal, 8 in Bihar, 6 in Odisha and 3 seats in Jharkhand, besides the union territory of Chandigarh. Voting began at 7 a.m. and will continue till 6 p.m. local time. Polling for the remaining 42 assembly constituencies of the Odisha State Legislative Assembly is also taking place simultaneously. Counting of votes will take place on 4th of June. As the largest festival of India's democracy is set to conclude with the final phase of polling today, the political fate of prominent leaders, including Prime Minister Narendra Modi, Union Minister and BJP leader Anurag Singh Thakur and Congress leader Vikramaditya Singh, TMC leader Abhishek Banerjee, among others, will be decided in this phase. In a short while from now, we will get inputs coming in from our reporters who've been stationed at different points in the country, telling us more about how voting has begun. And to our viewers, this is the 7th and the last phase of polling that is being conducted today across the country. Deepika Mato is joining us from Varanasi and Dibyendu Mondal is joining us from Kolkata. Good morning, both of you. Deepika, first coming over to you. As we talk, polling has begun. When we talk of the constituencies, then 13 constituencies of Uttar Pradesh. Let us get more from you as to how do we look forward to the contest in these particular 13 constituencies. How is this phase different from the ones that have been held earlier? Because this phase marks the participation of the Prime Minister, the candidature of the Prime Minister. Let us get more from you. You are there in Varanasi. Spell out more details.
A very good morning, Preeti. First, let me show you the visuals of the voters coming in. Right behind me, you can see the female voters, the male voters, the old voters, all are coming in large numbers to cast their vote. And we have senior citizens also with us who have already cast their vote. Let me quickly have an interaction with them. Ma'am, आपने वोट दे दिया है?
Yes, मैंने दे दिया.
मैम, जी, आप कोई मैसेज देना चाहेंगे सभी को कि सब आए और वोट करें?
सब आए वोट करें और बहुत अच्छी व्यवस्था भी यहाँ की बहुत बढ़िया है.
Thank you, ma'am. So there you heard the senior citizens who says that the arrangements are really good here, and she appeals everyone to come out in large numbers, and you can see the exciting, the voters who are really excited. I would request also the camera person to pan the camera and show the people who are coming in large numbers and really excited. This is the first visual that we are showing you from Varanasi, and this seems to be the excitement, because earlier we saw Prime Minister Narendra Modi appealing all all the voters of Varanasi to come out in large numbers and create a new record this time. And we can see that excitement building up here in the polling booths of Varanasi, where people are coming in large numbers. We also have a first-time voter with us. Ma'am, are you done with your voting?
I'm just going inside the booth. I am not done yet.
This is your first time?
Yeah.
How excited are you?
I'm very excited. I wanted to see how to cast the vote, how to press that button, how the things happen. So I'm very, very excited.
There are around 3,500 voters, and Prime Minister Narendra Modi himself sent a letter to all the first-time voters also. What exactly message do you want to give to the people there who are yet to come to vote?
Yeah. Only thing I want to say is that every vote matters. If you think that हम नहीं आएंगे कोई बात नहीं सब लोग दे रहे हैं, everybody will think like that. So please go out and vote.
All right, thank you so much. So there you heard the excitement of the voters, from senior citizens to first-time voters. All are super excited to come here and cast their vote. And this seems to be really a magical situation here, because it is really hot. And by the day, we will be witnessing again a scorching sun on the head. But then the enthusiasm is really high over here, Preeti.
All right, Deepika, I'll take that forward to Dibendu, who's there in Kolkata. Dibendu, when we talk of Kolkata, then the seats which are going to polls today, when we talk of the contest there, spell out more. And as Deepika put, that she has witnessed an overwhelming start of the day with regard to the voter turnout in Varanasi. You tell us, what are you witnessing there? Let us begin with your take on the day there.
Well, good morning, Preeti. That's right. You know, it's just about 10 minutes past 7. The polling booths here have just opened. We are a couple of meters away from a polling booth in the central Calcutta region, which is part of the North Kolkata Lok Sabha constituency. There are thin crowds at the moment. People are slowly pouring in into the polling booths here in Kolkata, because it's a metropolitan city. People do come in, but in the later part of the day, we'll be able to see more and more people coming into the polling stations here in Kolkata. But, you know, the key contests, of course, you know, are the seats of Abhishek Banerjee, the second in command of the Trinamool Congress, the Diamond Harbour constituency, will be crucial to watch out for today because of the highly faced contest between the Trinamool Congress and the BJP. But also, you know, the two, of course, where I am, this is the North Kolkata seat. Here, Chief Minister Mamata Banerjee, as well as the second in command, also the nephew of Mamata Banerjee, Abhishek Banerjee, will be casting his vote. Other senior leaders also of the BJP as well as Trinamool Congress will be casting their vote here in Kolkata. A plethora of leaders, of course, are all based out of Kolkata. So they will be casting their votes as the day goes by. What we have the schedule is somewhere between 9 o'clock in the morning. People will be coming in. These leaders will in fact be coming in to cast their votes. Of course, you know, we'll keep a watch on that. But people are slowly pouring in. The tight contest between the BJP as well as the Trinamool Congress here in the 9 seats that are going to polls today. All the 9 seats are currently with the Trinamool Congress. The BJP is trying to make a dent into this bastion of the TMC. It is expecting to at least win 2 seats from here to increase its tally to about 25 seats from the 18 it has out of the 42 Lok Sabha constituencies in Bengal. So, you know, it is, of course, and the voter turnout, Preeti, in Bengal have been, over the last 6 phases have been about 75 to 81%. We are all expecting that even in this phase, the voter turnout will be over and above 75%. But of course, by the end of the day, we'll come to know about that. But yes, as the day goes by, we'll see more and more people coming out of their houses and going to...
Of an impressive voter turnout through the day. Deepika, coming back to you again, let us get more from you as to how is the political contest spread in these particular constituencies that go to polls today. Also, when we talk of Varanasi, then we've seen Prime Minister has won from this seat for the past 3 times, and this time around as well, the question, the interest and the question more will be on the margin of the votes with which the the candidate emerges victorious. What is your reading? What is your analysis?
Indeed.
Yes, Deepika.
Indeed, Preeti, this seems like a contest. This seems like a more one-sided contest because Prime Minister Narendra Modi is looking forward to a hat-trick over here from this particular seat of Varanasi. He won by a very huge margin in 2014 and 2019 as well. And this time the aim is to cross the margin beyond the 10 lakh voting percentage. So here the question, what the Congress says that they know that they may lose this election once again, but even if they are able to, even if they are successful in, lessening the margin, that would be a great success for them. But that also seems like a tough task for Congress over here. And if you talk about the other candidates, there is no question only because there is no work that has been done. And when we talk about BJP's hat trick, what they are looking forward to, they are busking on the grounds of development here, because Kashi has seen a great transformational journey all across in the past 10 years, right from the Kashi corridor to the development which is underway of its first international cricket stadium, to the tourism that has witnessed a boost over here, and its direct impact on the economy of the state. Altogether, it is a cycle that is moving on at a very great speed and reflecting on the overall economy of the state, Preeti. And on those grounds, they are admitting the fact that they are going to once again win this election with a huge margin. Now, the results will be out on the 4th of June, so it remains to be seen what happens on the 4th of June. But right now, we can see that a great voter turnout is being witnessed here in Varanasi, Preeti.
All right, a great voter turnout has been witnessed in Varanasi. A good start to the day in Varanasi. Thank you so much, Deepika and Dibendu, for joining in from Uttar Pradesh and Kolkata, respectively, and spelling out more details on the voting turnout. Though it's a little too early to talk about voting turnout, the voting began at just 7 a.m. But we've seen that a huge number of people have gathered to exercise their franchise in Varanasi. At this point, let us bring in the tweet by the Prime Minister, wherein he has urged the voters to come out in huge numbers. Up your screens, we will have the tweet of the Prime Minister. Let's take a look at the tweet of the Prime Minister, wherein he has requested voters to turn out in huge numbers and exercise their franchise. The Prime Minister says as 57 seats across 8 states and union territories go to the polls, calling upon the voters to turn out in large numbers and vote. I hope young and women voters exercise their franchise in record numbers. Now, this is one point that the Prime Minister has emphasized in every phase of the polling. He has requested the youth and the women to come out in huge numbers and exercise their franchise. He requests, together, let's make our democracy more vibrant and participative. So that was the tweet by the Prime Minister right in the morning, urging the countrymen to step out and vote in huge numbers, it being the last phase of polling today. Let's turn focus to other news now. As several Indian states reel under severe heat wave, Maharashtra's Nagpur showed abnormally high temperatures on Friday. The Indian Met Department issued a red alert for severe heat wave conditions in many parts of Rajasthan, Punjab, Haryana, Chandigarh, Delhi, Bihar, Odisha and Jharkhand. Also, over 50 people have reportedly died due to heat stroke in different parts of the country. Forest fires have flared up again in various parts of Uttarakhand, with 2 major fire incidents in Gohari range of the Rajaji Tiger Reserve and the trek route to Neelkant Mahadev Temple in Rishikesh. Fire incidents in 11 areas affecting more than 13 hectares of forest land across the state. Himachal Forest Department officials pointed out that in the past week, nearly 100 forest fires have been reported in and around the state capital Shimla, a popular summer getaway for tourists from across the country, especially north and northwestern regions. Now, this posed a significant threat to both wildlife and human habitation. You're watching DD India Live. We're heading for a short break, but after the break, the countdown is on for a second attempt to launch Boeing Starliner cruise ship. Indian boxer Nishan Dev becomes the first Indian male boxer to qualify for 2024 Paris Olympic Games. In Champions League final, 14-time winner Real Madrid will take on Borussia Dortmund.
After a grueling campaign, after exhausting polling spanning 7 phases, the stage is set for the counting day, the grand finale of the largest electoral exercise ever. DD India is all decked up and ready counting of votes for India's general elections. Accurate and fast results. In-depth analysis with experts and reporters everywhere. Only on DD India, 4th June, 6 a.m. onwards.
Welcome back after the break. You're watching DD India Live and I'm Preeti. Let's get to international updates now. Donald Trump would appeal the guilty verdict that made him the first US president convicted of a crime. Trump repeated his complaints at the Trump Tower lobby in Manhattan that the trial was a rigged attempt to hobble his comeback. White House bid and also warned that it showed no American was safe from politically motivated prosecution. Trump was found guilty of 34 criminal counts of falsifying documents to cover up a hush money payment to adult star in 2016 election in which he defeated Democrat Hillary Clinton.
We're going to be appealing it on many different things. He wouldn't allow us to have witnesses. He wouldn't allow us to talk. He wouldn't allow us to do anything. And when we wanted to do things, he wouldn't let us do those things. But when the government wanted something, they got everything. They got everything they wanted. It was a rigged trial.
While Democratic President Joe Biden said that Trump had been given an opportunity to defend himself in the same justice system that applies to all Americans, he said the guilty verdict in Donald Trump's hush money trial proved that no one is above the law.
The state case, Israel has offered a comprehensive new proposal. It's a roadmap to an enduring ceasefire and the release of all hostages. This proposal has been transmitted by Qatar to Hamas. This new proposal has 3 phases. 3. The first phase would last for 6 weeks. Here's what it would include: a full and complete ceasefire.
US President Joe Biden has unveiled a 3-phase Israeli proposal to end the conflict in Gaza. Speaking at White House on Friday, Biden said that the proposal would comprise of 3 phases, which include a full and complete ceasefire, withdrawal of IDF forces from populated areas, and the exchange of hostages for Palestinian prisoners.
Israel has offered a comprehensive new proposal. It's a roadmap to an enduring ceasefire and the release of all hostages. This proposal has been transmitted by Qatar to Hamas. This new proposal has 3 phases. 3. The first phase would last for 6 weeks. Here's what it would include: a full and complete ceasefire, a withdrawal of Israeli forces from all populated areas of Gaza, release of a number of hostages, including women, the elderly, the wounded, in exchange for release of hundreds of Palestinian prisoners.
The US president called on Hamas terrorists to agree to the Israeli proposal on Gaza conflict, saying this is the most effective way to end the ongoing conflict.
If Hamas fails to fulfill its commitments under the deal, Israel can resume military operations. But Egypt and Qatar have assured me, and they are continuing to work to ensure that Hamas doesn't do that. The United States will help ensure that Israel lives up to their obligations as well. It's time to begin this new stage. For the hostages to come home, for Israel to be secure, for the suffering to stop. It's time for this war to end, for the day after to begin.
Hamas has meanwhile released a statement reacting positively on Gaza truce proposal. Hamas said it was ready to deal positively and constructively with any proposal based on a permanent ceasefire, full withdrawal from the Gaza Strip, reconstruction, return of the displaced to all of their places of residence, and the completion of a serious prisoner exchange deal. South African parties geared up for coalition talks on Friday as the governing African National Congress looked set to fall well short of a majority for the first time in 30 years of democracy, while the party of late Nelson Mandela looked likely to remain the largest political force after Wednesday's election. Voters appear to have punished the former liberation movement for years of economic decline, which have left many in poverty. With the results in from nearly 70% of polling stations, the ANC had 41.8% of the votes, a precipitous drop from the 57.5% it secured in the last national election in 2019. The ANC had won every previous national election since the historic 1994 vote that ended white minority rule. But over the last decade, South Africans have watched the economy stagnate, unemployment and poverty climb, and infrastructure crumble, leading to regular power outages. The countdown is on for a second attempt to launch Boeing's Starliner cruise ship on Saturday. Starliner's debut crewed mission was derailed earlier this month by a small helium leak detected in its propulsion system. This was hours before its launch from Florida. Starliner's long-awaited first crewed flight with NASA astronauts Sunita Williams and Butch Wilmore on board is a final test mission before NASA can certify the spacecraft for routine astronaut trips to and from the International Space Station. Fourteen times winner Real Madrid will take on Borussia Dortmund in the Champions League final on Saturday. Both teams will look to outdo one another at the Wembley Stadium in London. We get to more in our report.
The Real Madrid squad arrived in London to a warm welcome from a noisy contingent of their fans ahead of the UEFA Champions League final at the Wembley Stadium. The Spanish champions are hoping to win a European football's elite club competition for a record-extending 15th time when they take on German side Borussia Dortmund on Saturday. Real Madrid manager Carlo Ancelotti advised his players to enjoy the moment as they step into the finals.
Es una semana para disfrutar.
The cold sweat comes on Saturday afternoon. I know I am ready. This cold sweat and fear will arrive on Saturday afternoon. This is quite normal. It is always like that in this kind of matches I have experienced. My team gives me a lot of confidence, a lot of illusion because I see them focused on the match. They are in champions mode, so I have a lot of confidence.
Meanwhile, Borussia Dortmund head coach Edin Terzic is confident that his side can break Real Madrid's winning run when they meet in the finals.
Ist doch logisch. Also das Allerwichtigste.
The absolute champion in the history of football and especially in this competition is waiting for us, the absolute final boss. If we want to put it in modern language, but I am firmly convinced that anything is possible in a single match. If anyone has shown that you can achieve a lot in one match, it is us, especially this season, especially in this competition. And that's why it's time for this run to come to an end. I think they have been in the Champions League final 8 times and they have never lost. But the important thing is not what happened in the last 8 finals, but what happens in the next one. And we are responsible for that.
The 14-time winners Real Madrid travelled without goalkeeper Andre Lunin, who was recovering from a flu. He will travel on Saturday to rejoin the squad in the finals. Ancelotti, along with his players and staff, will be aiming to claim a record-extending 15th European title for the Spanish giants. Meanwhile, Borussia Dortmund are clear underdogs for the final. Their surprise European run this season is in sharp contrast to their rollercoaster domestic campaigns. Both Spanish and German soccer fans began gathering in London to see the Champions League trophy put on display ahead of this year's final. The trophy was carried on to stage in a fans' festival in Trafalgar Square by former Champions League winner John Obi Mikel, who is now a UEFA ambassador. Sports Desk, DD India.
Indian boxer Nishant Dev became the first Indian male boxer to qualify for the 2024 Paris Olympic Games on Friday. Dev secured the spot after defeating Moldova's Vasil Sebatari in men's 71 kg category at the World Olympic Boxing Qualification Tournament. Nishant secured a unanimous 5-0 victory, becoming the 4th Indian pugilist to qualify for Paris Olympics. He has been dominant in all the tournaments, landing sharp and accurate punches. The Indian was ever more composed in the semi-finals and used his punches judiciously. That's it in this edition of DD India Live. But let us know your thoughts on the news of the day. For those of you on the go, you can get all the latest news and updates from India and across the world on DD India mobile app. This app is available on both Android and iOS platforms. Scan the QR code on your screens to download now. We'll be back with more news as it breaks here on DD India. I'm Preeti Kaur signing off, and from all of us at In Delhi, thanks for watching DD India Live.
After a grueling campaign, after exhausting polling spanning 7 phases, the stage is set for the counting day, the grand finale of the largest electoral exercise ever. DD India is all decked up and ready, counting of votes for India's general elections, accurate and fast results, in-depth analysis with experts and reporters everywhere. Only on DD India, 4th June, 6 a.m. onwards.
The marriage between tech and tradition is what farmers need across the globe. Tech shows us ways to deal with new challenges in a world, while traditional knowledge and varieties show us how to withstand these challenges.
Some people in society look negatively at a woman if she steps outside of her home.
Do you know 700 different crop problems on 30 different crops? Diagnostic, that's tough for a human to do.
Big food manufacturers are getting like the biggest share. Farmers and farm workers, which are like in the bottom of this value chain.
When a volcanic eruption injects ash, dust and gases into the atmosphere, into the stratosphere, they form sulfate aerosols, which the Earth's rotation helps spread around the globe.
Wherever news breaks, whatever it takes.
Connecting corners, cutting across continents.
Stories that matter from across the globe.
Accurate, authentic journalism that serves you right. From politics to glamour, from sports to world affairs, with a fusion of aesthetics and substance. Introducing news in a new avatar. Experience the world through a new lens. Stay tuned to DD India for an exciting journey beyond borders.